This one's from Sugawaza, Japan. 20 minutes, not bad. The process of making food samples in Japan, otherwise known as fake food. A 2-year-old video, but worth a watch. Let's give it a go. It really is an art form. Food samples that look so delicious they could be mistaken for the real thing. How are they made? Well, we're about to find out. Look at that. An artisan's handmade work. It looks like prosciutto, but it's not. And actually looks like they're cutting up actual bean sprouts. Quite the process here. All these epoxies, curing of things to... Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Walking through the streets of Japan, you'll see these food sample sculptures. It's fake food, but it gives you an idea. I mean, it's basically a 3D representation of a restaurant's menu. Shows you what it looks like, what you can expect. That way you're not relying on old worn-out pictures or just text descriptions. You can actually get a sense of dimension and portionality, all of that. They get rather clever with these too. I mean, floating fork, lifting up some pasta. You can see these everywhere. Restaurants, confectionery stores, bakeries. I mean, food samples, they are everywhere. People habitually look at these before they enter a restaurant to decide, you know, is this what I want to eat? They started in Japan about 100 years ago, and they just kept on evolving. They've even become a popular souvenir of Japan. You can get sushi keychains, for example. They're so elaborate now that you really can regard these as works of art. Here's a store in Asakusa, in Tokyo, where you can experience the creation of these for yourselves. This is... who is this person? This place is called Ganso Shokuhin Sample Shop in Kappabashi. And this is Kaori Sato, the store manager. He's going to teach us how they make food samples using traditional wax. So first, we take a spoonful of wax and add it into warm water. Then we're going to put some green wax on the top. And then we sink it down like so. No idea what it is that she's creating, but impressive. You can do that with wax and warm water. Oh, it's a leaf of cabbage or lettuce from the looks of it. Ah, some leafy greens. Starting to gradually take shape. Ah, there's lettuce. There's a head of lettuce. And now she's going to cut it, apparently. I mean, it even cuts like lettuce, sort of. And certainly looks the part on the inside too. That's incredible. Oh, thank you for the hydrate and stretch redeem. Right, next we're going to make food samples of tempura, particularly shrimp and vegetables. We've got eggplant, daikon, radish. So from this height, we're going to pour about 60 centimeters above the water surface. And that's how you get the effect of it looking like tempura. We place a little wax shrimp sculpture there in the center. You sink it at an angle, then turn it round. And then wrap the tempura bit around the shrimp. Soak it in some cold water. It'll harden instantly. And it looks like a piece of shrimp tempura. Looks good enough to eat, even though it's wax. Now we're going to do pumpkin tempura. So same method. Putting a piece of wax pumpkin in there. And wrapping the faux tempura around it. Pour a little more in there. And that is a sweet potato tempura. Excellent. Now we're going to take a tiny eggplant. Essential part of summer tempura. Same method to create the actual tempura breading. Lotus root. There we go, just sink it in a bit, flip it round, poke a few holes in it, so the customer sees it in the store, immediately recognize it as a lotus root. And then we set up the display, and there you have it. Ingredients made from food samples are combined, you get things like a delicious looking hamburger or this massive stack of pancakes. But also visiting the, I guess there's a B1 factory in Yokohama to learn more about how they make these sort of food samples. This factory alone produces about 7,000 a month. It's not able to make them by machines. Artisans have to craft them by hand. We've got a molding process here. This is real food covered in silicone to create a mold. On the surface it only seems wasteful. This is all serving a purpose, so in effect the food's not quite going to waste. It's real food serving as a mold to create replicas to advertise for more real food. This is the Iwasaki Corporation BI factory. Wait for the silicone to harden. And this chap here is the factory manager, Hiroaki Miyazawa. Man, this stuff looks almost too edible. I'd be fooled. You take a bite into it, and it all of a sudden tastes like wax. So that's what one of the molds looks like. I'll get parts when they put it in the oven, let it harden. There's the molding process going on. Artisans sort of paint in the vinyl resin and then pour in the rest. The mold is then heated in the oven to harden up. Vinyl resin cured by heat is removed from the mold, and then using compressed air, out she comes. A food sample of a dish called shao mai. It's like a type of dumpling, or yeah. The color is still light at this stage. And then after it goes through the colouring process, starts to look a bit more realistic. And this is where we start adding oil to what appears to be raw ham, or prosciutto. So almost like you're decorating a cake with frosting. Round in colour, traces it just a bit. And that'll serve as the tendons and all for the prosciutto. A little bit of fat for the meat. Takes some skill to make it look natural. It's not easy. Really takes an eye for detail. And then the actual, quote-unquote, meat portion goes in there. Well, it kind of flops a bit. It almost looks like prosciutto on toast or something. Okay, out it comes from the oven. Bit of a pat down. Some tweezers to carefully remove it. And there you have some prosciutto. Or an approximation of it. And then we've got mackerel sushi being made next door. That look like whole mackerel fillets there. Pressed sushi with mackerel is a standard fare to bento sold at train stations. Which part of... Okay, she's working on painting the mackerel part of pressed sushi. To make the mackerel part first and then move on to the rice. I mean, it's the mackerel portion that's really going to sell this. It's not just an art form, chat. It's a sales technique. Because you're putting your menu on display for the public to decide if they want to eat at your establishment. So, it's got to look good. Even if it's just a replica. But look at that. It's pulling it out with a pair of tweezers. Got the fish and the rice together. We're going to add this other waxy layer for the skin, and then colour the parts that were just moulded. Colouring process involves airbrushing it. That's already starting to look like the real thing. Though the blue colour sort of gives it away. And we put on a bit of silvery portions for this salmon fillet. And that looks like karage or some fried chicken. It looks good. If you were there, it would smell like paint. It's almost like you're painting a model. So those of you who paint 40k models can probably appreciate this. And then we've got some tamago right here, or scrambled egg. Just a little bit of airbrushing in a few parts to give it a bit more of a natural look. Bit more sense of depth. Make it look just that much more authentic. Showing the layers where it all gets folded. That's why they've got those brown lines there. got this bit there, making it look like a properly good bit of grilled fish or something. I'd like to have a try at painting some of these. I'm sure there's some sort of experience that you can pay for admission. They'll not only show you how to do it, but let you try it yourself. Maybe even take it home as a souvenir when you're done. Unless you saw them making those, it'd be easy to confuse those as actual sweet potatoes. The parts removed from the mold while still connected. Cut into pieces using scissors and knives. Just like if you're cutting real food. These are wax replicas of green beans. Those are wax replicas of azuki beans. A sweet type of bean, oftentimes pulverized into a paste. It's actually really good as a dessert all by itself. I mean, it really is like they're preparing cooking here. Cutting things with knives and with scissors. Similar utensils that you'd find in any sort of kitchen. What's he up to? Ah, making the beef that goes in the demi-glace sauce of an omelette. There we go. Adding the demi-glace sauce. Right now it's a sort of light brown colour. Doesn't look very realistic. And that's supposed to be fresh cream drizzled on top of the sauce. And then just sort of dabbed a bit with a tool to make it look even more realistic. And then in it goes into this oven here. One wonders if they're on the same menu. And once it bakes and hardens, that's what it looks like. Comes out looking a lot darker. And there's the finished product, chat. It looks tasty. In the arrangement process, they pour sauce on the surface, and then you've got finishing touches to make it look a bit glossy, make it look like real food. You add the sauce after making the noodles, just like you would with a real bowl of pasta. Let's see, we're adding in some extra ingredients, some fresh veggies, your wax versions. And there it is. It's finished. Complete with a fork floating in the air. Which, I mean, let's admit that part is really cool. Looks like we're working on sandwiches here. Yeah. That is mayonnaise that she is putting on there. Or what's supposed to look like mayonnaise. From some angles it looks like marshmallow fluff. We've got these slices of tomato, slices of meat. Like the perfect sort of thing to serve with tea. And here we're adding in little bits of wax rice to make sushi rolls. And then that is the glue that they add in to make it all shiny and realistic looking. Looks like they can't show us some ingredients and methods. Those are still trade secrets. And that appears to be some sort of meat and veggie rice bowl. And those appear to be bean sprouts. The forbidden mayo. The bean sprouts might need a little bit of extra color on them. But yeah, other than that, that looks ready for prime time. I guess that's more glue or some sort of epoxy. I think that's tuna. And then we've got chicken naan bun. It's like grilled chicken or fried chicken with some sort of mayo-based sauce. And here we're going to create a cup of some sort of fruit juice or some type of mocktail, or maybe an actual cocktail. Even has bubbles, and that appears to be faux ice. Looks like, and then a wax lemon on top. It looks like a blue Hawaiian cocktail. Anyways, back to the factory manager, talking with the cameraman. Really is the same as cooking like using a knife or something. But there's no smell. It's challenging but rewarding. One always has to think about how they make it. Food samples made in this factory are shipped over to restaurants in various regions. Soba noodles. Some sort of teriyaki chicken. A red snapper. That's really cool. Oh, we are following this. Okay. Well, that's going to get a like. And then we're going to copy that link and drop it into the chats here. We go for Rumble and then YouTube and Kick. All right. Very good.